Ja Rule isn't holding back anymore. After years of silence, the rap legend has decided to expose the truth behind one of hip-hop's most infamous beefs. And this time, he's taking aim directly at 50 Cent. The story the world thought it knew about the fall of Murder, Incorporated might not be the real story at all. According to Ja Rule, 50 Cent has been spinning a narrative full of lies. Lies that have shaped how an entire generation views one of the most powerful labels in rap history. But the truth? It's far deeper, more dangerous, and rooted in the streets in ways most fans couldn't begin to imagine. For over 2 decades, the rivalry between Ja Rule and 50 Cent has stood as one of hip-hop's most bitter and violent conflicts. To many fans, it seemed like 50 Cent was the underdog who came in swinging, eventually destroying Murder Incorporated and dominating the 2000s rap game. But Ja Rule is now saying that this hero story is nothing more than a cleverly crafted PR campaign, one that covered up street politics, betrayal, and high-level federal investigations. According to Ja, 50 didn't bring down Murder Incorporated alone, and the beef wasn't as one-sided as people like to claim. Ja admits that 50 was relentless with the diss tracks, but he believes people overlooked the way the media and the feds helped 50 gain ground. What many don't know is that while the rap world was watching the drama play out on music videos and magazine covers, the real battle was happening in courtrooms and through FBI wiretaps. Ja says that 50 Cent pushed a false narrative that Murder Incorporated was scared, weak, and incapable of defending themselves. But what 50 never tells you is that Murder Incorporated was under federal investigation for ties to one of the most feared street figures in New York, Kenneth Supreme McGriff. Irv Gotti, the head of Murder Incorporated, was like a brother to Ja Rule. And during the peak of their success, Irv made the decision to keep a close relationship with Supreme, who was a known drug lord with a reputation that went far beyond the streets. That decision, according to Ja, is what really ruined Murder Incorporated, not 50 Cent's diss tracks. The feds were watching everything. Every dollar spent, every phone call made, every move Irv Gotti and his brother Chris Gotti made was under scrutiny. It wasn't about rap beef anymore. It became a full-blown federal case. And while all this was happening behind the scenes, 50 Cent was painting a picture in the media that made it seem like his music alone was enough to destroy a multi-million-dollar empire. Ja Rule now says the public got played. The media ate up 50's story because it was entertaining, and 50 was a master at turning pain into power. From Wanksta to Back Down, he made it seem like Ja Rule was finished. But what people didn't realize was that Ja was fighting a war on 2 fronts, the music industry and the legal system. He says it's easy for people to say Murder Incorporated fell off. But how do you keep releasing hits when the FBI is raiding your office and freezing your bank accounts? And Irv Gotti wasn't some music executive hiding in the shadows. Ja says Irv played a gangster, even when he didn't have to. He stood by Supreme publicly, even when he knew it would put him in the feds' crosshairs. To Irv, loyalty was everything. He wasn't about to turn his back on someone who helped him in the early days. But that loyalty came with a cost. The feds didn't just investigate, they came with indictments, with real prison time on the table. The pressure was enormous. And still, Irv refused to flip, refused to cooperate, and refused to snitch. Ja believes this loyalty is the real story that never gets told. While 50 was making headlines, Irv Gotti was facing the kind of pressure that would have broken most men. The entire Murder Incorporated brand was under attack, not just from other rappers, but from the federal government. They even tried to paint Murder Incorporated as a front for a criminal organization. Imagine being one of the biggest labels in music, and overnight, you're being labeled a criminal enterprise. The courtroom battles were intense. Millions of dollars were spent defending Irv and Chris Gotti. Ja Rule was right there with them, showing support, refusing to back down. And when the trial finally ended, the Gotti brothers were found not guilty. But the damage was done. By that point, Murder Incorporated had already lost key distribution deals, radio support, and mainstream backing. The industry had moved on, largely out of fear. No one wanted to be associated with a label that had just gone through a federal case involving a known drug kingpin. 50 Cent, meanwhile, continued to rise. He had the support of Eminem and Dr. Dre. He had the machine behind him. And most importantly, he had the media eating out of his hand. He controlled the narrative. He made it seem like he was the one-man army who took down Ja Rule and Murder Incorporated. But Ja says that version of the story is a myth, one that ignores all the real factors that led to their downfall. Ja isn't asking for sympathy. He knows mistakes were made. He admits that Murder Incorporated got too caught up in the street ties. They didn't play the political game the way other labels did. They stayed true to the streets. But the streets don't protect you from the feds. He believes that if they had cut ties with Supreme earlier, things might have turned out differently. But at the time, loyalty and brotherhood mattered more than business deals and public image. What frustrates Ja the most is how easily people believe everything they hear without questioning it. He says 50 Cent knew how to use media to his advantage, how to manipulate narratives, and how to make people believe that one rapper could take down an entire empire just by dropping mixtapes. But the truth is, 50 had help from law enforcement, from powerful industry players, and from a public that was quick to turn on anyone labeled a criminal. Even now, Ja Rule says the real story still hasn't been fully told. Most documentaries, interviews, and podcasts keep repeating the same tired story. They say Ja Rule fell off. They say 50 Cent won. But Ja says, if winning means lying to the public and pretending your diss tracks caused a federal investigation, then maybe we need to redefine what winning even means. He wants people to remember that before the beef, Murder Incorporated was untouchable. They had hit after hit. They dominated the charts. They were one of the few labels that made R&B and rap blend seamlessly. Ashanti, Lloyd, Charlie Baltimore, they were running the game. And Ja Rule himself had platinum plaques, sold-out tours, and commercial hits that still get played today. But none of that matters when your name gets dragged through the mud. Ja says he watched the industry turn its back on him, not because he wasn't talented, but because the narrative shifted. And once people believe you're finished, it's hard to change their minds. That's the power of media, and that's the power 50 Cent mastered. Today, Ja Rule is focused on legacy. He's not trying to restart the beef or throw shots just to go viral, but he believes people deserve the truth. He wants the next generation of fans to understand that what happened to Murder Incorporated was about much more than rap battles. It was about loyalty, survival, and the high price of keeping it real when the world turns fake.